Oh, McKinley is dead and McCormick don't know it. McCormick is dead and McKinley don't know it. They both are dead and they're lying in bed and neither one knows the other one's dead. Oi, oi, oi! Happy St. Patrick's Day. How you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in today. It's St. Paddy's Day, St. Patrick's Day. And pre-recorded live before a studio audience of stuffed animals from our Boston studios on St. Patrick's Day. And we don't dye the River Charles green here. That's done in Chicago, I believe. And Montreal has a pretty huge, big, large, grandiose. They do up St. Pat's too. St. Patrick was as a Catholic saint, and recently one of our local sports teams, instead of having St. Paddy's Day, referred to it as Irish Heritage Night, because Boston has a huge history with Irish immigrants, and but time marches on too, and so do the faces of people. Such as in 2000, in the 21st century, I'd say the face of my city now is a black Dominican guy named Big Papi. Yeah, David Ortiz, the designated hitter and four time. How many? He's got 4, don't he? David Ortiz. Look at this up real quick. David Ortiz. I think he's Dominican American. We're gonna read this from the wiki. The wiki. He's a Dominican American former baseball designated hitter and first baseman who played 20 seasons in the Major League Baseball from '97 to 2016. So that means 3. He's got 3 of those books. He's got 3 of those. 3-time world champion. Yeah, 2004, 2007, 2013, where he said, "This is our fucking city." And after the marathon bombing, the marathon is actually next month in April. It's true. The marathon's back. It is. Yeah, that's nice. It's a completely Boston thing, and it's a wonderfully Boston thing, along with traffic and chowder and being a masshole and dropping your eyes and going and getting a Boston tonic from the corner store. I grew up in South Boston. We're home of Sunday's St. Patrick's Day parade. I hope you're asking, hey Sully, are you going? Fuck no. My God, it's like the 2 Minutes Hate of Orwell over there. It smells like spilt beer and public urination and violence, and man, I had enough of it when I was a kid. I grew up right near Andrew Square, where it started and ended. Like it starts and ends in different places in different times, different years, but it's pretty much like it used to end in Andrew Square. Then my mom would have a party, and all the cousins would come over, and it was just, oh, what a day. I marched in 3 of them, 3, from the ages of 8 to 18. Yeah, once we were Rick Walsh. He was running for a congressman. It was a friend of my auntie's, my auntie JoJo. So he held the banner for him, and my mom said, if you do this, I'll buy you a toy. I'll get you an action figure. And so I agreed to that. And the only store that was open was the hardware store right in Perkins Square, where East and West Broadway meet at Dorchester Street. And it was the hardware store, and it's still there, the True Value. And I got a Mego, like Barbie doll version of Buck Rogers from the 25th century. I remember that. Yeah, I would later again be on with my Little League team. We would be on a flatbed, and then in high school, I was with the Knights of Columbus and their youth organization, the Squires. I was Knights of Columbus of North Quincy. Growing up Irish Catholic, you know what I mean? Jeez, and Boston, and so St. Paddy's Day. It's born and bred in my DNA, of course, because I am mostly of Irish descent, a second generation Irish American. Grew up in an Irish home in the Irish Catholic manner. Yeah, seriously. And this is yeah, there's your info dump, and we're going to talk about comic books because we talk about comic books every day, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. We put on those notifications, ring that bell, subscribe, be part of it daily. It's good to see new faces out there and new viewers, and it's good to see everyone. If I can make the 3 p.m. premiere live chat, I'm so honored and blessed that you're all here talking comic books daily. Seriously, and leaving those comments. Continue to leave those comments. Continue this comic book shop style conversation, because the comic book shop is a big theme of our show and our comics coffee table. Where do we get those floppies that we're going to put on the coffee table? And you're going to be like, oh, wow, that's some new Frank Whiteley art, isn't it? May I read that, please? Yes. And so I'm rebagging, reboarding, and reboxing my whole collection. I'm using these 2 books as I'm going along to get a better sense of, get a ballpark estimate of what my collection's worth. Also, get my head around grading and evaluating my back issues in these long boxes, but also back issues that I buy. I have a keener eye for this now, and it's awakened me a need to be, excuse me, but do you have final say in negotiating the price of this funny book? If no, then whom may I speak with? And be like, hey, I noticed, these dings here. Are you really charging 14 for this? I'll give you 10. I mean, I find I have that in me now. Yeah, and the leverage to do so. So I love this. It's a new part of a lifelong love of this niche hobby that we all enjoy, and that's the source of so many good times and so many conversations, such as the one that we're having today. So my parents got these for me for Christmas, so I dedicate this season to my parents. Thank you, I love you. You can find links to both of these publications in the description to its Amazon page. You can get your own copies, and you can play along at home. You can also find last year's books too, such as How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. I got the link for that. And for The Golden Age of DC Comics, 365 Days, a hardcover coffee table book given to me by one of my best friends about 2 years ago. 20 years ago, 2 decades ago. Hello. Given to me by one of my best friends about 2 decades ago, and has been surfing my coffee table ever since, and is the etymology of why we come to a coffee table on our daily show here at my channel. And I'll use I'll use my eyes on that one. This is definitely, I'm definitely so happy to have this YouTube station and to be sharing these conversations with you. And you can find the links in the description to all of these publications and get your own copies and play along at home. And a big part of the show is the local comic book shop. I'm going back, not only buying new comic books based on recommendations by strong voices in my YouTube creator community that I'm blessed to be part of these conversations with on live stream panels. Whoa! Thank you, Wes. And I've made real connections, real networking, and it's my honor and privilege to just be part of this conversation and have a coffee table in which to host a little coffee talk for all of us once a day, every day. Subscribe. Did I say daily? But yeah, I'm getting my supplies at the local comic book shop. If you're new to this station, I wanted to foster in you a need to go to your brick and mortar mom and pop local comic book shop and buy your supplies there. And I could be using my online supply chain with the phone app, with the free shipping and the built-in TV network that I love, and getting a discount for buying bulk, getting it delivered to my house. No, I'm going to pay the markup, and I am getting my supplies at my local comic book shop. They need our business. Stan the Man Lee would say, "Nuff said." Indeed. So yeah, I'm getting short boxes instead of long boxes. I'm getting bags. And I'm getting acid-free boards. And that's the whole point of the show, is to rebox, reboard, and rebag things. So I'm a little liberal on the rebagging. I mean, that's a judgment call. If the bag is fine, such as this one here, because we're doing we're long box diving. the final frontier, the final ride with my beloved DC Crisis long box that I'm going to do something about. See, this box has served its purpose. These corners are blown out. It's absorbed some moisture that did not get into the paper publications existing in the archival box. So it's done its job. It just needs to be replaced. And now is the time. And this is a great excuse to have daily comic book talk. All together. All together now. All together now. All together now. Such as this. I judge this to be fine. This bag is okay. It's all right. This is Infinite Crisis number 4 of 7. 7 issues. This was supposed to have killed Dick Grayson at the end. Instead, Alexander Luthor just blows a hole through his chest where he barely survives. And then Batman, in the 1 year later, skip the fill in that year with he's hanging out with his sons. Damian has not been introduced yet. He's not part of the continuity. He's not part of the story yet. And but he's with Tim and Dick, and Jason is not part of the group yet. Jason has just been kind of more confused now since he knows the truth about his how he came back, or does he? Because that also gets tweaked again in Rebirth. And is there what would you say would be the definitive, canonical story of Jason Todd's Rebirth? I got. We're probably coming across it right now. No, it's over the Batman's because it's Batman Annual number 25. It's delicious art by Shane Davis, and the cover and interiors, and it's about the Superboy Prime punches and how it brings back Jason Todd from the dead. How does Jason Todd come back from the dead? It's been an open question since the first clues were established in Batman's Hush, and back in 2002, 2001, 2002. That's 2003, but it's definitely around there. Batman Hush. Let's look it up, man. This is what it's here for. Hush. Look it up. It's not it. It's a super published between October of 2002 and September of 2003. It was Batman Comics numbers 208 through 619. Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee, Scott Williams, Hush. Colored by Alex Sinclair. Great. And this is those were those floppies were new when I came back in 2001. I was tuned into Hush monthly. That was a great experience. Those Jim Lee covers for every issue as well. Oh, there's that really good one with Clark, Superman, and he's been infected by poison ivy, so she's got all the vines all over him and shit. It's so good. But yeah, so Jason Todd's resurrection was hinted back in Hush, and then came Jed Winnick's run on Batman with great art by Dustin Nguyen. There's a win, and called Under the Hood, and there was the return of Jason Todd as the new anti-hero in town, the Red Hood, and wonderful animated adaptation, by the way, got adapted by Judd Winnick himself, the guy who wrote the Funnybooks in the first place, got to write the screenplay for the animated adaptation. If you oh wow, it is so good. I mean, he gets to retell how Jason Todd comes back, but in a more or less convoluted, dependent on an Infinite Crisis storyline. He cleans it up and makes it something that I think has been ripped off ever since. That Jason, it was a mistake made by Ra's al Ghul. It was, but it was the Demon's Head, and he felt responsible for Joker's murder of the detective's child sidekick. So he takes the young boy's body and resurrects him in a Lazarus pit, unknowns to Bruce Wayne. But the madness that fueled the recently resurrected made him escape with superhuman strength that wore off after a little while. And Jason's kind of been off and on trained. Like, there's like a New 52 version of that, and there's got to be a Rebirth. That's why I'm asking. It's like, so what is the canonical version of Jason Todd's resurrection as of today. What's the most current story? Teen Titans Annual, and so if okay, let's put it this way. Okay, these are teens, underage kids. These are teenagers, kind of like Grease. You know what I mean? Sure, Danny was 18. He was sweet, just turned 18. She was good, you know what I mean. Summer fling don't mean a thing. I don't want a copyright strike. But, I mean, come on, Grease is about teenagers. They've had stories about teenagers in love. So there have always been covers with kissing superheroes. So, just because you might find modern relationships distasteful, and whether they sell comic books or not, it's still fair game. And our cousins, our aunts, our uncles, our gay family, they get on covers too now. Yeah, it's the 21st century. It is. Let's go on forward. So yeah, we got Infinite Crisis number 6. This is well loved. I just want to say, look at this corner. Look at these dings. I mean, this was so great. They had a jam of artists in here. You got Phil Jimenez, you've got Jerry Ordway, you got George Perez, and you got Ivan Rice in here. So this is the penultimate issue. Like, penultimate means next to last. Ultimate is the last. Penultimate is the second to last. Anti-penultimate would have been issue number 5 of 7. That means the third to last. So the anti-penultimate issue, is probably the beginning of Act 3. Zing! Storytelling! Loving it. Oh, wow. We have, the comeback of magic. So it's Earth 1. Because they've actually split the universe up a little bit. So there is, Earth 1. Superboy Prime versus Superboy Round 2 and the death of Superboy. And Alex Luthor trying to recreate a perfect universe. He lost a hand. Isn't that gross? Look at that. I'm not making that up. Damn. You need a new bag and board. You do. Don't be a vagabond, have a bag and board. Don't be a vagabond, issue. Have a bag and board instead. Aww. I make jingles in my spare time. It should have been in advertising. Thank goodness I'm not. Or maybe, there's an alternate reality in the multiverse where I am, and I'm like the Don Draper of my own world. Mm-hmm. One piece of tape. That's all it needs. Now here's something going back to I don't know. They're going to try to sell you on a notion of gay coding because they've recently made Tim Drake to be bisexual now in a same-sex relationship as a teenager. This is what we're talking about, superheroes kissing on comic book covers. And so I think there's a lot of hinting about, Tim's feelings for Connor. I don't buy that. But I will buy this. This is the Infinite Crisis Secret Files and Origins. This is a one-shot. So this is just info dumpy. And but here's a secret story about Alexander Luthor of Earth 3 and Superboy of Earth Prime in their paradise dimension. Now, they're growing up together. They've been there for a few years, so they're a few years older than their when they went in there. I got some spine crack, of course, because this is well loved. I read this. This is, there's a scene in here where, and so it starts coming together with, and here and this is where they start conspiring behind Superman and Earth 2 Superman and Earth 2 Lois's back. And then comes, look, what is Luthor doing? I think he's He's taking off his clothes, and he's sharing his power with Superboy. I think there's some coding going on there. I think I think this is I think that's and it's got some. They definitely got some kind of, in my humble opinion, some Achilles Patroclus energy going on between them. Hello, I think the coding was there. Why not? That's why it's art. A lot of it has to do with interpretation. And the bag's fine. Maybe not. Maybe if the bag doesn't fit, you must have quit. Oh. Reminds me of a bad, dirty joke. It's like when you see the serial numbers on a Trojan, right? And usually the response is, "Huh? What serial numbers?" And you say, and this punchline is, "Oh, I guess you never had to roll it down that far then." Wah, 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 wah. And we come to Infinite Crisis number 7 of 7, where it's the battle of... Yeah, see? That's Tim. He just found out that Connor got killed. This is his best friend. And here we have more fighting, more villains. This looks like, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. It came out last year. I mean, it didn't have any red skies, did it? I mean, I love red skies are like a big part of Crisis. It's the proper backdrop. This art here, I think, got revamped for there's more dialogue there. We're going to do a comic book comparison. They switched some art here. They made it hey, we've updated the art in this. Yeah. They added some voice bubbles to this scene. Seriously, there's added dialogue. Okay. Here's the hardcover, and here's the floppy. Can you tell the differences between these two pages? This is the original. And this is Bane. I remember who I am. So before this, they were trying to make Bane into an anti-hero or reformed goodish guy, something like that. And no, they added some dialogue, and there's a whole splash page too difference. This is the Battle of Metropolis. And I love this, though. It's Superboy Prime versus the Green Lantern Corps. Led by Guy Gardner. And, Superboy Prime is the bane of... Look, this is great. Our boy! Look what he did to our boy! Alexander Luthor blew a hole through freaking Dick Grayson. He's lying there dying. And there's Batman. He's like, you know what? I should. He's got, you know what I mean? He's Batman with a gun. That's it. And he's at his ultimate test, right? And here we're going to finish it up with the Supermen versus Superboy Prime. And look at that George Perez art. That's great. Just great. The death of Superman 2. Earth 2 Superman. And who will come back very soon as a Black Lantern. The design of Black Lantern Superman, Earth 2, is pretty cool. And here we have the end, where it's 1 year. It's going to be 1 year later. Superman's really depowered from that fight against Superboy Prime. Bruce wants to hang out with the recently, saved Dick Grayson and his adopted son, Tim Drake, or it should be Tim Wayne by now, huh? What do you think? Let me know in the comments section. Isn't he Tim Wayne? Did he keep his name? Does he have a double alias? Does he go around other places as Tim Wayne under the radar? or T. Edward Wayne or something stupid. I don't know if that's. I don't know what Tim's middle name is. If you know what Tim's middle name is, put it in the comment section, please. Let's look it up real quick. Tim Drake. Fictional character. Jackson is his middle name. Timothy. T. Jack Wayne. Hi, I'm T. Jack Wayne. I'm T. Jackson Wayne. Yeah, he could, for all you know. That would be awesome. Just and reading from the wiki real quick. Created by Marv Wolfman. He first appeared in Batman 436, August of 1989. Yep. And that's, yeah. His first appearance as Robin was in Batman 457 in December of 1990. And he had his own title. He did. I loved those comic books. And that's why people are upset about the changes in Tim Drake. I say, I think, well, he's a teenager character, so he's still finding himself. He's an iteration among many Tim Drakes because his age has to keep going back and forth. One panel, he looks like he's 14. Another, he looks like he's, 17 or 18. He could be a senior in high school. He could be a freshman in college. Such are the natures of these comic book shop style conversations. Like, how old is Tim Drake? Is there a canonical answer, or does it even matter because canon shifts so very often? And it literally does to suit the need of the story. And, we've been talking about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We talk about comic books every day, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Daily. Did I say daily? Yes, indeed. We talk about spirituality and purpose. We also talk a lot about cooking, too. I'm an ordained minister, and I'm a chef, professional line cook. So, tune in. We got the goods here. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.